What is going on, everybody? Happy Easter. What is going on? Hope you guys are having an amazing Easter weekend. I'm currently snowed in my house. Yeah, I thought it was spring. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a movie I said I would do. Now, once a month, because it is April 1st, we are going to be sitting down and doing classic films and review classic movies because I've always wanted to do that. Now, we all, of course, have a little thing sponsored by the American Cinema Podcast, which me and my friend Chris Miller talk about films and do all that. So for us today, we're going to be reviewing a movie in print in celebration of its 50th anniversary. One of my favorite films of all time, one of the greatest films ever made. Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. This movie is a masterpiece. When you think about movies, when you think about where we've been, you think about where Jaws, 2001, Jurassic Park, all these movies that are heavily through visual effects, I don't think you would quite get them without 2001: A Space Odyssey, because not just the fact that you've never seen anything like that before when you came into 1968 and you went into the movie and you're completely transfixed under this kind of space kind of thing, which never really has been done before. And I praise that through Stanley Kubrick because his direction is easily one of the greatest things in history. He's one of the greatest directors of all time. He's probably my second favorite director, probably ever. And for me, as a huge fan, you never know what Stanley Kubrick would do. He's such an interesting mind. And when I was 14, I remember sitting through this film, and my mind was just blown. It was the movie I kind of felt like, hey, I wanted to direct. This was the reason why I wanted to direct. I would love. I'm gonna try to go see the 50th 70 millimeter 50th anniversary print, which is the movie in 70 millimeter film, which is huge. I can say this, that there's a lot about this film that really is well done. It's well shot. It's beautifully shot. And it's so amazing. The performances are amazing. But we have to talk about one character, easily one of the greatest characters in the history of film and science fiction, and that is Hal. Hal is amazing. He's incredible. I still quote him time to time. My father still quotes him time to time. He's easily one of the greatest villains in the history of film. And it's an amazing concept. Also, the performances are incredible. Everybody gives a performance. There's amazing sequences that people remember from this film. Take the Dawn of Man with the apes and throwing the bone to the space scene. And spoilers if you've not seen the film, when one of the guys, his teammates, goes into space and just dies, it floats out of space to his death. It's one of the most iconic shots, even when it's just sound. It's no sound. It's just quiet. And there's something about Stanley Kubrick when he directs the film that makes it so well known and so well done. I can also say this for a fact. You also have to talk about the final shot, the final 20 minutes, which inspired a movie like Interstellar, heavily inspired Interstellar, when he's going through this time warp and there's colors. It's one of the most incredible scenes ever shot on film, and one of my favorite scenes as a director, technically, looking at. I could talk about this movie for hours. I could also talk about the fact that the movie was heavily not seen by hardly anybody. A lot of people called this movie a hipster film, and no one really saw the film. I remember we have this little small independent volunteer theater that plays classic movies. They played this a couple of years ago. No one really came. No one really came because it's a movie that has grown to become one of the greatest of all time, and it's easily one of the greatest directing films of all time. And you look at this movie, and you look at this craft of work this Kubrick made. You put this on the same height of Akira Kurosawa and Seven Samurai, Steven Spielberg and Raiders of the Lost Ark, in my honest opinion, and Jaws, George Lucas with Star Wars. You see what a director is mostly famous for and known for, and for me, when you look at Stanley Kubrick's filmography, you have to talk about a few of the films. Doctor Strangelove, which we'll talk about eventually, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Full Metal Jacket, and Clockwork Orange. And I think for that, when you look at a director like this, you can't but help but admire it. And so, that being said, the movie is a masterpiece. It's flawless. 5 out of 5, of course, for 2001: A Space Odyssey. So that's pretty much my review, guys. I've been doing these things once more a month. Next month, I'm very excited because we're going to talk about the entire The Man with No Name trilogy. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next later.